everybody, AJ Ryzik here. Today we're taking a look at GNOME extensions. Now, I recently received an email asking me what my favorite GNOME extensions were, which ones I recommend, that sort of thing. So, as luck would have it, I was about ready to do a fresh installation of Arch on my main desktop, so I figured this would be the perfect timing, after the new installation to go over all the extensions that I was going to install, and I'll show a few others and that sort of thing. But at least this way you get to see which ones I'm installing and how I set them up, that sort of thing. So first thing we're going to need to do is go to the GNOME extensions website. So let's open up Firefox. Now, when you go to, well, here, let me get to that site first before I explain this. GNOME extensions. Alright, so when you go to this site, the first time that you visit it, you'll get a little pop-up message that tells you, do you want to allow this site to basically probe your desktop. Give it the OK, and then you're going to want to refresh your page, and then what it will do is it will automatically detect what version of GNOME you are running, 310, 316, 318, whatever it is that you're running, and then it will list all of the extensions that are available for your particular version. Now you do have the option, you can come over here and it'll show you extensions for all versions, but that is kind of, for what we're doing, there's no real point in that. This auto detection feature does not work with any of the Chromium based browsers. So you can use Firefox, you can use Epiphany, which is now called Web, Midori works, but any of the Chromium based browsers will not do the auto detection. So you're going to need something else if you're using Chrome or Chromium. Anyway, I made up a list, and I'll just kind of go through the list, and when I throw this up on YouTube, I'll include the list down below, so you can go through the list and pick and choose and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, first thing I'm going to pull down is the Activities Configure. And this allows you to go and tweak the appearance of your top panel. And so basically to install it, you see the little off and on button right there. We're just going to click it to on. Do you want to download and install it? Yes. Alright, and after installation, there's some settings involved with this particular extension. You can either do it through the extensions web page. Let me go and I'll right click the installed extensions, and it'll list all the installed extensions. And a lot of depending on your distribution, there may be quite a few extensions that are installed by default. You just basically need to come in here and turn them on. Or alternatively, you can use the GNOME Tweak tool and make your settings via that route. But for right now, we'll just work with the website. And so we've got the Activities Configure. It is on, and let's go and tweak it. Okay, I don't want that icon, and I want to remove the Activities button because I do not use it. Anytime I want to open an application, I just hit the Windows key and boom, go and select by that route. If you like, you can disable the hot corner, and then you've got some other panel settings that you can play around with right there. You can also add some text padding if you like, depending on how you want things set up. And that's essentially it for that particular extension. So let's take a look at the next one here that I've got on my list is Caffeine. Basically, Caffeine is going to keep your desktop awake. The screensaver will not kick in on you. And you can see the little coffee cup that has appeared on my top bar. Simply clicking that, and you can see the little steam coming out of the coffee cup right now. Once that's clicked, your screensaver will not kick in. I find it useful for when I'm doing these videos. Sometimes I won't be using the mouse very much, and so after a period of time, the screen goes to sleep on me. This prevents that. So we've got that one. Let's go to the next one I got on my list. Drop-down terminal. And we'll go and we'll install that. Alright, and here's on some of these extensions, when you go and install them, their settings dialog box will automatically pop up for you. I'm going to go. You can play with the animations, transparencies, scroll bar height. I am going to go to custom shortcut and do the F12. So now click F12 and I get a drop down terminal that drops down. Alright, moving on. Next one is top icons. By installing top icons, you will be able to view all the legacy icons up here in your top panel. So you can see now my Dropbox indicator is showing up. This is for PAMIC, my package management, and then the indicator for my simple screen recorder. Depending on your work habits, you may or may not want to add this. I find it a very useful extension. Impatients is the next extension that I'm going to add, and this one, for me, it doesn't fall into the realm of a practical extension, but it does make me happy. Basically, what it does is speeds up the animations on the GNOME shell. So basically, install it, and boom, now your animations are much quicker. Like I said, not really a practical use for it, but I like my extensions to be very quick, or my animations to be very quick, so that's my reasoning behind that one. Alright, next on my list is Netspeed. There we go. And basically all this will do is it'll give you a little indication up here on your top panel of upload and download speeds. Depending on what kind of work you're doing, may or may not be useful for you. And so we got that one. Next one on my list is, wrong spot. It's the Places Status Indicator. And I find this one really useful. Adds a menu for quickly navigating places in your system. So think of it as a quick launch for the different folders inside of your file manager. So now that I've got the Places Indicator, if you click on that, you can go directly to Home, Documents, Downloads. You can read. It's just quick launches right from the desktop for those locations. So I find that one pretty useful. Let's see what we got. Sound Output Device Chooser. This one is useful if maybe sometimes you use the speakers, sometimes you use a headset. Basically it lets you, it shows you a list of output devices in the status menu below the volume slider. So I'm going to go and add that one. So now go and click on there. You can see right here it's what our active device is, but clicking on it, it'll show everything that's available. So I think that's a pretty useful extension. And what do I got next? User themes. This one is typically installed by default. Let's see. Yes, down here. So just click that one on. So now you will be able to add various GNOME shell themes and use those themes. And actually, I'm going to do a video on dressing up the GNOME desktop future recordings, so you can keep your eye out for that one if you're unfamiliar with tweaking the GNOME desktop. Okay, so we got through that one. Multi-monitor. Oh, let me go here. Multi-monitor support. This one is, I think, a rather recent extension. Let me go ahead and click on the picture they show here. Basically, it gives you some support for some additional support for multiple monitors, and I use dual monitors all the time on my main desktop. If you click on it, you can see that you now have the an overview on each of the individual panels. Very useful extension if you've got multiple monitors. Last one that I am going to use is the Clipboard Indicator, and basically it allows me to see a history of items that I've clipped and added to the clipboard. Now, an alternative to this one is this GPaste integration. Either one will work. Depends on your personal preference. If you're somebody that's using GPaste and is comfortable using that, or I wouldn't say comfortable, but accustomed to using it, this will integrate GPaste for you. Either one will get you the same place as far as some kind of clipboard management. And that pretty much covers all the ones that I use on a daily basis, I guess you could say. Now, I've got a list here of other ones that, depending on your work habits, you may find them useful. Now, depending on your work habits, this Workspace Indicator might be pretty useful to you. Basically, it just puts an indicator on the top panel to tell you what workspace you're running in. Now, me personally, I spend most of my time in just a single workspace, so it's not something that's really useful to me. But I know a lot of people that they set things up on their desktop so that each new application that they opens in a new workspace. So it could be kind of useful for you to have a little label at the top tell you what workspace you're in. So there's that. There's also the window list, which will give you a list of open windows at the bottom of the screen. Removable drive menu is another one that I know a lot of people use. Basically, it gives you, let me open up their picture here. Basically, it'll give you a little indicator in the top panel so that you can see the SD cards, USB drives that you've added to your computer. You can go and open the file manager in that particular location. I believe it also allows you to go and unmount those particular drives, right from the panel. So depending on on your work habits, that may be pretty useful for you. What else we got? Here's one I've occasionally used on laptops, and that is battery percentage. Right next to the battery indicator, it shows you the percentage of juice remaining. Once again, depending on your work habits, might be a useful extension for you. A lot of people like going with a traditional menu on their desktop. They really want to stick with having a menu-based application switcher. So there's a couple of options for that if you're looking for menus. There is Slingshot Gnome, which allows you to use the Slingshot application launcher from Elementary OS. Let me open up the picture there so you can see that. I'm not a big fan of that menu, so it really doesn't do much for me. And you know, I am personally a keyboard launcher kind of person, so the whole, you know, having a menu based launcher thing is, you know, kind of pointless for me. But I know a lot of people like having the menus. There is application. There's application menu, which gives you an old style drop down menu. It lists the categories. I think you need to click on the category and then it'll do a drop down of everything that's in that category. So there's that one. There is the Gno-Menu, which gives you an application menu. I don't know, kind of similar to what you get with the Mate desktop. Once again, you know, depending on your you know, what you're looking for, may work for you. The one thing I do like about this particular one is you do have a search function that's embedded, rather than having to scroll through, you know, everything if you know, you don't know what category something's listed in. And oh, there's one more. Frippery application menu, and it's another traditional drop-down style menu. There are quite a few extensions that allow you to tweak the look of your top bar. Now, I've already talked about, you know, the top icons, what gives you the legacy tray icons, and then also I installed the activities configurator, and you know, that tweaks things a little bit there. There is also MMOD Panel, which gives you, you know, quite a variety of different tweaks that you can do to that top panel. You can do an auto hide, set location position of the panel, add a button to the panel in place of the activities link. I mean, you can see there's just, you know, all kinds of options that you have there. I've used that one in the past. For me, the activities configurator does everything I want, so really no reason to change to a different one. But that's not a bad extension. Already talked about top icon. There's the hide top bar, and there's also somewhere in here a hide top panel. Basically, they will, you know, give you an auto hide feature on the top panel. There is a transparent top bar, which does exactly what it sounds like, makes the top bar transparent, so that you just have you know, your icons and text. And there's also a gradient top bar, which, you know, adds a gradient to the coloring of your top bar. If you are looking for a dock, the one that I like the best, let me see if I can find it on my list here. There's Simple Dock, which puts a dock across the bottom of your panel, as you can see right there. And the other one that I've used in the past is Dash to Dock. Now, previously, it basically just tweaked the dock from the left-hand side. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and install this one, even though I don't use it all the time. I'll go ahead and install it because you got quite a few options as far as configuration with this thing, and you know, a lot of people may be interested in this one. So let me go and we'll do a little tweaking to it. So Dash to Dock. Let me open up the adjustment dialog. So by default, still shows the dock over on the left hand side. However, you can change position wherever it is that you want. And the reason you're not seeing it when I click on right is because I've got, with having dual, oh, there it goes. Now it's popping up. Needs a little pressure to get it to pop up over there. So anyway, you can move around the position, intelligent auto hide, which is currently on, dock size limit, so you can make it, so it'll extend all the way top to bottom, or you can do the standard mode like that right there. You can set your icon size down here, which that's mainly why I have used it in the past. It's to shrink down the icon size. And then you got some different behaviors you can show over here. Show favorite, show running, show application icons. Tweak the appearance here, use a built-in theme. Shrink the dash, save space. I've used this one a lot. You can see it gets rid of a lot of the padding. Show window counter indicators, custom opacity. So maybe you want something that's essentially transparent like that. You may do that, or completely solid, or anywhere in between. And then talks a little bit about dash to dock. A lot of these options have been added recently. Oh, and then also where it says show dock on, if you click on there, you can show it on primary monitor, or you can show it on a secondary monitor, depending on whatever it is that you want. So, of all the dock type extensions, I think that one is the best one. What I have shown you here is in no way the complete list of all the GNOME extensions. I mean, just looking through the list here on the website, I mean, there's a huge number of extensions available, kind of the sky's the limit sort of thing. You just need to go here and check some of them out, see what interests you. Hopefully the stuff that I've shown you gives you some ideas, depending on what your work habits are, what your preferences are, that sort of thing. Your list may be completely different from mine. But anyway, that about finishes things up. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, give us a big old thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. Questions, comments, all that kind of stuff. I will get to them as soon as possible. As always, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next video. Thanks a lot.